It's the last pod of the year. It's the award ceremony. The Pond King, the Crow, Captain Caravan.
Oh, oh,
Ooh.
I like it. I mean, you run out a little bit of steam, a little bit, but that
I
weren't
did.
bad. Yeah, you proper run
It's a
out
good
of things for a
start.
minute. It was a decent start. You proper front run it a little bit, but that was good. Yeah, last one of the year. Everyone's doing their own award shows. I mean, but we've done ours for this is our third year in a row now, and we was doing it before it was cool. I just want to
Yeah,
say, obviously, thank you to the interim champ that's now a solid staple. He's been in and out, but he's just part like in. He's got access to the Instagram, the whole lot. Obviously, and to yourself, the Crow. You know, the engine behind the fighting
the
words.
makeshift team. Well, Hollywood Allen's been he's
Been
been all over,
Hollywooding.
isn't he? Where's he at the moment? Tunisia or something?
He's
God
coming back
knows.
from
Yeah.
Tunisia
Tomorrow,
tomorrow.
no?
Yeah, and then he's flying out to the other side of the world. He's going to go from being 11 hours behind to 11 hours in front. So
Man's
that's
a time traveller.
it's just not going to time. It's just going to work. And like going forward, we got a good vibe with the in-persons now. There's some decent level in-persons coming in. People
Yep.
like Linus, people like TKV. There's potentially a decent mega size female one that I'm dealing with at the minute that we'll have to get a female button pusher in just for the security and safety and all of that other stuff, because obviously the studio is the flat. Yeah. Yeah. You imagine you get someone round to do the studio and it's just like you do it in your bedroom.
Yeah,
Yeah, bad times. Um, I just want to say that last year we tried to do it live and it went horrifically, and I think it even got stripped off YouTube at one point, but it's back now. But there were some large pledges made from myself, and some of them we fulfilled, some of them we didn't. This has been a
but
bit.
it's
What,
been a
what did
good
you
year.
describe this as? A building
A
year.
building year. A
It's a
building year.
building year, and
Construction
as
time.
per mine and Jesse's other project, side quest. Shout out side quest at can't mention the side quest because we still can't get into the
The
Instagram
gram
account.
hates on the truth, the paladins of truth that we are.
Huge. It's a £10 word of the highest order, but the foundation that we've put in this year is 13 acres of big granite. Do you remember when SDK was talking about big granite rocks?
Yeah, yeah.
Huge, big granite rocks. Anyway, on that note, I tried to get 12 world champions in. I think we hit 8, 9.
Yeah, I think it was 8 or 9 in the end.
If we want to be cheaters, we could say that Regis is now a world champion. So, and we won't do that for Savannah, who's now not a world champion. But
Yeah, that's how it works.
that's how it works. Exactly. You count your wins. You forget about the losses. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. But we got.
We've had a lot of up and comers that have come on this year, and we've
That's
had
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying. Building
domestic
year,
dons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
domestic dons and builders. Like it's all well and good because there was a change. Obviously, this has been a disaster of a year for me personally. At the start, it was horrific. It was a bad year. Maybe I would say one of the worst years of my life. But we're through it now, and the Pond King has majestically arrived off of the lilies. And yeah, like I was thinking about like the big guess for the bump, and then it's just like, nah, we enjoy doing this. Let's just have fun with it. And you know, we've returned to a little bit of stasis. I wanted to get 4 legends on. I think Johnny Nelson could be described as a legend.
I think that
think
counts as a legend.
yeah,
I think Russ can be
definitely.
described as a legend. And I'm sure
Yep.
there's others that can quite comfortably be sat as legends, but we haven't
I'd say
fulfilled that one
Arthur goes into being a
because
legend.
Arthur is another one that potentially Samuel could be in person. Yeah, you might have to come up for that one and do the buttons. That would be a good one to come up for.
That'd be
Anyway,
a good one.
that would be a good one. But you know, actual legends, I thought we was at least going to get Roy on. Roy was on toast, and then he's I don't want to speak ill of him, but his assistant slash whatever he is, it's just a bit of a jeb. It just never happened, but we'll sort that out. I believe that I wanted to get 3,000 subs on our YouTube. I would say that we've exceeded that. I think we're at 9,400.
Yeah, I think we're close to 10, aren't we now?
Closer to 10. So then around the room in a little bit of a a back slapping, we've slept our way to the middle. Samuel, what do you want the number to be at the end of 2023 of
Do you reckon
YouTube
we could?
subs?
Do you reckon we could double it?
What, go into
yeah.
like the close to the 20s?
20? Do you reckon we could double it?
I'm thinking 30s.
You reckon
30+.
30s? I'm an
Yeah.
extinction. I am actually a bit of like, I love a gamble, which is why I don't gamble. So I'm always up for it. Like, I'm
Well, if
down.
you're looking at like the quality of guests we're getting and how frequently they're coming on now, we're
Yeah.
pushing a lot more content out regularly than we were at the start of this year.
Yeah.
So if we continue building off that, I don't see why we can't get to the 20s.
I also think
Okay.
it's like it incremental boosts in your subs is quite huge. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
just go like, oh, you got 5 or you got 10 or you got 15. It kind of
Yeah.
goes like 5, 20, 20,
Yeah.
30,
It
30,
just,
50.
yeah, it's like you get, it's a weird thing because you get surfed on the algo. So you crest for a little while and then it all just
Yeah.
phases out and then you get picked up. It's like being out on a wave. On Instagram, which factually hates us.
Oh, we are actually hated by the gram in all manner and way possible,
Fact.
individually
I can't,
and corporately.
100%. I can't, for example, I can't send posts to people.
I can't even open
80%
messages.
of the
I
time.
have to wait
It can't-
until
yeah,
one
it-
gets sent
Yeah.
and received,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it gets as a notification. I have to swipe my drop down to open up my messages in Instagram.
It's good. It's all the accounts here.
How dare
You're
you?
putting like
How
some kind
dare
of
you?
blacklist.
You mean
Using the big
truth?
C word is a bit in.
Yeah,
incorrect there,
exactly.
but
It's truth. And
Big
I
C
would,
word.
isn't it's the most beast move to say shadow banned. You know, the deep state doesn't want us there. I think that the Fighting Words account should be around 5,000 on gram.
yeah, what
because
is
of
it
the
now?
way-
Is it 19 or 18 or?
1800.
And
right?
it just
But
and it gets the
it's like-
traction and the is
it's
massive.
nuts. It's nuts. So like we'll strap on 20, 30 followers in a day, and then the next day we lose 36, and then like you'll get
But-
2 added, and then it is creeping up.
When when me and Rob started posting daily on it and actually trying to make an effort on it, I think we went up something like 300 something followers in 2 months, 3 months, or something like that.
There's been some
So
big
it
vids.
is.
It's growing.
But then it just
It's
kind of
growing.
plateaus,
growing.
doesn't it? The gram's just
Yeah.
a strange place.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
goes,
But yeah, thank you to the patrons,
Patreon.
Patreon.com/Fighting Words.
and
Shout out
your
Patreon.
friend.
Shout
two
out
of
Live
you.
Squawk. Shout out X-Brain. Shout out Sam. And yeah,
Should we-
shout out everyone.
Transition this to the first award. I reckon we go guest of the year for start if we're transitioning
I like that.
from our
I
pod.
like that.
I mean, we know that Guest of the Year has been awarded, and
It has.
it's not a newcomer, but it's very well earned. He got edged out last year, and that can only be Denzel Too Sharp Bentley, right?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Please tell me you've got an applause button prepped for that. Oh,
probably
no.
do. Oh, do I? Probably
Somewhere.
do. I
The
mean,
Bears
I know,
took
but-
over.
No, they haven't taken over. Don't be silly. But like, let's be honest. Is that not a little bit? I can do laughter. Have that.
There we
Or
go.
a sad trombone, or Sean
But it keeps
Connery.
going.
Yeah, it's a long one, isn't it?
Oh yeah. See, this is why I don't muck about with the sound effects that much. It's annoying. Yeah, but Den's smashed it.
Den's 1
What a year.
billion % smashed that.
Yeah,
Like,
what are
He's
you?
had. He's been on. Was it 3 times this year? Has he come on?
Fought 3 times this year. Fought for a world title. Defended
Yeah.
his British in like, just honestly, how serious was that from the York Hall while that was going on? It was
Oh.
just the highest drama.
you know, I actually would say that the drama of that event, being there in person, contests every event of the year because of our state as well.
Yeah, I'm
I
with
thought
you
you
on
said
that.
status then.
I'm gonna give it. Yeah. So the status. I mean, to be
The
fair,
status,
we
yeah. I mean,
we were
we were
we've been with the
amongst
fellow.
people.
Yeah, the Z
We were
listers.
amongst people.
Yeah, we're in the same crowd as Castillo. We've done that a few times this year. Big man things. What? But has to be Dens. Like, you know, Dens, and if you want to do like,
He's already been given it as well.
Yeah, like he's earned it. And if you wanted to do
I
a
think-
runner up, who would you do, Sam? It's got to, like, it's
What
got to be
favorite
big.
pod?
I mean,
Favorite pod of the year? Or?
Favorite pod of the year, bar none, right?
Yeah,
I loved the one we did in person with Dens. Good vibes. I
Yeah.
loved all of the pods we've done this year. You know, some of them you get off it and be like, that was good. That was a good laugh. Some of them you're like, it was all right. It was good fun. It was
I
nice
think there's been some really good. I think Tyler Denny's one. I thought that was
Tyler
a great
Denny's
listen.
was excellent. An
That
excellent
was a
listen.
great pod.
Danny's first one, who I think has just vanished off the face of the earth. I don't know what's happened to Danny. Danny was good, but
That was a good one.
factually, my favourite one of this year, Sonny Edwards. Nothing can come close.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that's a throwback. That one.
No,
That
it's
was
not
right
that
at the
much of a
start, wasn't it?
throwback. We got a year, and I think that was around March time, Feb
Yeah.
time, and Sonny was just tremendous. It was
Sonny
just
is
perfect.
proper. Just open
Perfect.
the camera and go. Like you
Yeah.
don't need to have. He doesn't need these pseudo journalist types.
No, he doesn't.
He is just.
and
He is
lets
just
them
such
know.
such an enigma himself, and he's just so powerful. It's just he is the best person to have on your show.
Yeah. That was my favorite one of the year because it just
went
was,
into porn straight away.
Yeah, it wasn't expected to
Not
be
at all.
into that level. Yeah, and it was a bit dicey.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You got a highlight, Jesse? What was your favorite one to listen to back, or one that you were in?
Sonny,
That
the
one?
same.
Sonny?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He is He is top G for the year.
He's
I
top G.
think.
I think
he's out. He's out. He's free.
He's free now. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Undestructible, I think we did with TKV and Will. I
That was
remember
good.
that one being because we were just talking about gladiators for a good half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
That was the one the Bears
that.
decided to come
The
and find Goldilocks, weren't it?
Yeah, they definitely did. Obviously, nothing can really compete with for me for Undestructible behind the paywall was the one episode with Sporting Icons and Steve after the Conor Ben debacle.
Yeah, that was powerful. That was a very good one. That
one, I tried to edit it and blur out all of the things that weren't allowed to be said on YouTube and stuff like that. And I got 40-ish minutes in and I'd managed to edit about half an hour of the pod to actually get it out. I had it all lined up with Ric Flair woos, right? Powerful. It sounded powerful. And then I was just like, there's so much of this that it can't be released. So it has to sit behind the Patreon. It has to.
That alone,
and there it
for all of you wannabe local celebs, that's
well worth. I've actually used up the Patreon a little bit. I've limited the number of local celebs that there can be to only 50 now. Right? Obviously, there's only 3 people that's done it, but you don't want to have like 1,000 £2 ones.
You're not a local celeb if there's thousands.
Exactly, and we've set the targets to 2k a month, 5k a month, and 30k a month. And
Sam's all just tattooing different things on my body.
Yeah, 2k a month. Sam gets a flat Earth tattoo, right?
Yep.
5k a month. What was it we said? 5k a month could be any.
Remember.
5k a month was like a UFO or something that I wanted.
Yeah, no, I think it was. I think it was a UFO.
Yeah.
No, was the top one branding? Sam gets branded.
Yeah, no, that was it. Yeah, but that's on the flat Earth. Like the flat Earth has got an FW in the middle of it, or maybe the Coof Club hammer, whatever. Either way.
But with a hot iron.
Oh yeah, branding is huge. Like that's when you're earning 30 grand a month plus, you're allowed to brand people with any means possible. Right. If I was earning 30 grand a month, I would have Sharpies that actually had blades in them, and I would still tell people this is a pen, and just start just cutting people with just blood ink. I'd look at them dead cold as well, completely cold, and just be like,
"What are you talking about? You're bleeding. You're just allergic to Sharpies."
I'd just be writing 30 grand. That's all I'd do over and over again. What was the next one, Sam?
Well, let's move it. So we had it originally. I think I said it was hot prospect of the year, but I've changed it to breakout star of the year.
Why have you done that? To try and do a little bit of election fraud?
No, because I think breakout sums it up a bit better, because we said Nick Ball for this one, and Nick Ball is the prospect of the year.
A breakout is a different thing. I'm gonna have to
Would you
old
not?
man you a
Because
little bit there.
Yeah,
No.
breakout
well, I'm going to
isn't
say
prospect.
after
Prospect is
the Wembley
unchallenged.
fight.
Okay, wait, hold on. Who has broken out this year? The perfect one to say breakout this year is Dens.
Yep.
That's the epitome of a breakout. That's one where you become accepted. The doubt
Or
has
you
kind of
you
gone now.
exceed where you were ever thought to have been. Another
Exactly.
example would be Fabs.
Yeah, Fabio would be another one. Fabio
Fabs is actually.
Fabio's a
breaking
good
out.
contest for that.
Yeah. Or Josh. Because Josh,
Well,
the problem
Kelly.
is with Josh is like the lights have
I
been
just find
so
it, like-
bright on him for so long
Yeah.
that after
But
that
then
performance, you
now
just go,
anything he achieves now, it's like you're gonna have that side of it where now I see what you were supposed to be, rather than just being like, oh my god, it's a breakout.
We need to
It's
give
not like
him
he was
a
ever thought of less. He's always
we
been
need to
known
give
to be
him
good or thought to be
a
good.
shock win of the year award after you guys were so adamant Troy was going to win.
I'm telling you, I think that's performance of the year.
I think so.
For
I think
like
so.
imagine the amount of pressure that was on him, because that's him. If he lost that fight, if he won but looked not very good, if basically if he was anything like we've seen before of the Josh Kelly in fights that wasn't on the next gen shows where he's hitting people with 17 left hooks in a row, that was him done. Right? That was 100%
he did
him
everything that in a storybook you would write for he needs to do, and he did more.
Yeah.
So
right.
he's like
breakout
silence the
star.
naysayers.
Right, breakout star of the year. Who are you thinking, Sam?
I think I've changed my. I think it is Fabs. I think with the whole white collar story as well and how he came up,
Not
and
just that,
then
but against Gorman
knocking
of all
down,
people as well. Of all people.
And how many times did he knock him down? 3 times, 4 times?
And it wasn't looking good
It's
early
not looking
doors.
good, bruv.
It wasn't looking good early doors. He was getting caught with a much quicker jab than what he thought. He was eating uppercuts.
That first round,
I was just like,
I was so worried. It was that first round was that the first handhold? The very first
that was
handhold.
the first one. That was the first one.
That was an involuntary handhold as well. It just occurred.
It's the power of the crystal pyramids, you see. Anyway, right. So Fab's breakout of the year. Nick Ball for sure. Prospect of the year.
Prospect of the year.
Yeah,
I still think Wembley. He stole. I mean, I know Fury was. Obviously, everyone was there to see Fury in that, but he stole that show on the undercard, beating Isaac Lowe, because he utterly beat the shit out of him.
But that still keeps him in prospect, not breakout. That fight alone isn't a breakout fight.
Another one for breakout, and Fabs has him, I think, slightly edged. It's Dan Aziz. Like Dan Aziz has gone from fight by fight contracts. He's gone from fight by fight. He's gone from sort of having a deal to being on the almost the opponent's end of the deal with Sky, right? Then they sign him, and then he has the up to that point on paper the hardest fight of his career, and they put it first on the bill, and it's for his British title. And then after that, he goes and does steals the show in co-main against a former world champion. Like Dan, I don't know. Like Dan has probably progressed the most of any fighter in these lands.
Because even before the Fielding fight, a lot of people were still saying like he looks a bit raw, he looks a bit rugged. He didn't look anything of the sort in that Fielding fight. And I don't think he did really in a couple of fights in the build up to it.
I don't think he did.
But a lot of people remember him in his sort of when he was first on television and when he first fought, and remember how sort of like of much of a raw talent he was.
Well, no, right. So he won the British, right? Looks fantastic in that. Yeah.
Yep.
Then the next fight was that Reece Cartwright guy who was English champion at 168, and he went up on like a week's notice because his geezer fell out.
Yeah.
And then they had a go at him about it, that he didn't look good. And it's like, well, who looks good against a late opponent? And this is like Reece Cartwright had beat Tyler Denny. Reece Cartwright is a good fighter.
He's a good fighter.
Yeah,
He's
he's got his
a good
accolades
fighter.
already.
He fought Shakan, didn't he, earlier this year? Shakan Pitters,
That's
I
what
think.
I'm saying.
Or that
That's what
might
I'm
have been
saying.
end of last year.
But
He's a
either
good
way,
fighter.
like he's a good fighter. And then like they all went off of him, and then it is what it is. Right. So prospect Nick Ball for sure. He looks like a little pit bull.
Especially against Wembley and at York Hall. I think Ball main evented, didn't he? Is the York Hall one.
Yeah,
Actually,
I mean, he's.
I might argue prospect of the year.
Go on.
As soon as you said York Hall, it reminded me, and I've just forgot the kid's name.
Which one?
Royston
Oh,
Vasey.
Barney.
He's got to be a new. He's got to be newcomer.
He's got to be up and
He's
coming
only like he's like two,
but that's what
two
a
or three.
prospect kind of is, isn't it?
My age, I think.
He's
not
pre-prospect.
Not quite prospect, but he's whatever the fuck you call that.
Dude, on that
he's insane.
I can't remember which card it was. I think it was the Fury Chisora card. He was on that, and he leveled the geezer. Like first round, just put him flat and
like
just
iced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about doing an
he's a
episode
miniature
on cousin boxing?
I'm 100% there for it. I'll be a historian of it.
But not just like Puncher's Chance like style, but like go through the legendary travellers.
Yeah, like the Barty Gormans and the Big Hopi and people like that. Yeah. We'll go all in.
Yeah. There you go, Sam.
Coming soon.
Next one, mate.
Well, let's do domestic Don of the year. Let's keep it on the same.
Oh, that's a very hard one, isn't it?
Because we've had quite a few of them come on the pod this year.
Yeah, we have.
See,
and we've got
domestic.
The first
how are we going to class that though?
Is another. I
Is
think
domestic Don going to be what they've achieved this year, or is it going to be just they're a Don after talking to them and they are in person a Don?
So I think what we have to do, I think we have to do a very firm delineation in the rules now. The domestic Don started with British Championship, right? So I think that's the entry. You can be a domestic Don if you're the British champion or have been the British champion. I think that's a very fair thing because I still want to do the shiny stickers of the domestic Dons, Sam.
The shiny stickers.
I really do.
Then
right. So from domestic Don, that's a really hard one because I probably would say Dan should get domestic Don.
Dan's could double up on an award on that one.
Well, how many times has Dan?
Because the thing is like Den's went out and fought the boogeyman, the man that they're calling Golovkin. They're saying he's the next Golovkin. Come on, that's got to be up there in accolades.
Den's is past domestic Don now.
This is where I'm sitting with.
Yeah, that is the only thing, but he still is.
He's graduated
from our shores. So
he might be at European level, which makes him a Brexit bad man. He's the Brexit bad man of the year.
He's the Brexit bad man.
Yeah. There we are. I'm going to say Dan for me.
I'll second Dan.
I think Dan as well. I think Dan's had a great year.
But Dan's I think above British as well. Had Fab's not got breakout, because I didn't know that was going to be an award. I thought that Fabs could quite comfortably.
Fabs could have,
yeah, because he's had a good year as well.
But how many times has Dan defended it this year?
3.
Was he been? Yeah. So I think that's why it's got to be Dan. And then next year, I think he graduates and he moves on and starts collecting the next belt.
When all right, so when Dan won his belt, I personally picked Dan to win and the round. Right, it wasn't particularly surprising. With Fabs and Gorman, that was one of the truest 50-50s where no one knew what was going on. And on top of that, Gorman had fought for the British, or he'd won the British before, hadn't he? Or fought for it against Dubois.
No, he never won it. He fought for it against Dubois.
But he'd been at that level before. And Fabs
had amateur pedigree, everything else that went around with him, the family, the lot.
I mean, Gorman's a fucking fury. Right?
Yeah. Well, he's a closer descendant from Bartley Gorman, the last Gypsy King.
This is it. Oh, there we go. See, this is coming out. See that?
Segue.
But then I swear, what was his name? Was it Burton, the guy that Dan won
Hosea Burton.
British Hire?
Hosea
He
on
was.
the
Burton
He's a cousin as well. Yeah.
He's
yeah,
another
on the
cousin.
market card as well. He's a cousin.
Yeah. But yeah. I think Dan gets domestic done this year.
100%.
any
And
arguing
next
that.
year,
Yeah.
He's
bigger
in
and
the
better
lot, but
things.
this is his last. Like this year was the last time he can be a domestic don. He's now a Brexit badman next year.
Well, he's been. I think it's been mandated and called that he's fighting for the European, and I think that's the same for Dens going forward. That's not like hot takes or anything. That's quite common.
Yeah.
That's fact.
Hey, Sam, did you see did you spell the T about Eddie and what Eddie's been up to? What the rumours are?
I've seen the rumours. I know the rumours.
What's the rumours? What rumours do you know?
I'm not
no
spinning
rumours.
anything.
Share them.
What the rumours are
What have
is
you
that
heard?
I haven't heard anything except for that's what I've heard.
Of the limp wrist variety.
Well, no, fast car.
Hmm.
A female boxer that's not Ebony, but from that neck of the woods. But this is proper like schoolyard drama stuff.
Ah.
Yeah, yeah. I like it. Not only does no one care, but also it's still just quite funny.
And
I
that
don't
is
know
the
why.
perfect segue into promoter of the year.
And it wasn't Eddie.
And it wasn't Eddie.
But Eddie probably still wins off the back of that.
Frank wins that.
It is Frank.
Frank wins
hands
it,
down.
but we all know Eddie wins.
Eddie always wins, but Frank
He
has
does
won
always
this
win,
one.
but Frank does win
Yeah,
promoter of the year.
yeah.
Queensbury have had a. I mean,
They've had an amazing
I'm not
year.
saying it's just 'cause I've been working for them, but they've had a great year, and it's just such a shame now
Dare
they're
I
on
say.
BT Sport because they're probably the least watched shows out of the three.
That's the problem. What
I
I
think
like,
it's because Frank Jr., who is now pure evil Frank, Doctor
he's
Evil
ter-
version of Frank.
he's
He has
fucking
taken. I feel like he
terrifying.
is just pure evil, and he is sort of heading it, isn't he? So
Right. He looks
like
like Callie, if Callie put the mask on to reveal his evil self, that's what
Yeah.
he looks like.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
at least
got
Callie's got
Polar
a
opposite.
smile on his face. Oh my god, it was he's
And it's always in like some dirty
Creepy.
council estate. Like the
Yeah.
background's like it's like a council estate. It's like all like a fucking old dough office or something. It's like what's going on there?
yeah, don't need it. Go back to the beige tower.
Yeah.
But seriously, Frank hands down this year.
It's
Right?
He's
been
done
a
what's needed
nuts
to
year
happen to
for him.
British boxing.
But he's done something really. Look, what Queensbury have done, with the exception of like the Fury mega fights, that he's done a couple of stadium shows this year, right? With the exception of that, what they've done is that they've gone, all right, DAZN are doing the DAZN stuff. Sky are doing like
Rebuild.
rebuild, but also it's a little bit like flashy, and they range heavily between like
Yeah.
throwing out their
Yeah.
prospects as sacrificial lambs, and then computer games having the boss fights, like an Adam Azim just destroying some geezer who drove him in the Uber. Where what Queensbury have done
Back
the
when talk about
equivalent.
Jesse.
What Queensbury have done like the industry fights. So every
Yeah.
single that
Yep.
card that we went to, you're called at Den's headlined.
That was
Every single
fucking
one of those
banging.
fights, banging. Every single one
Like,
of them. Not only
yeah.
they
Do you know
weren't
what it
just
is?
like
They've
well,
done old school Frank, old
Yes.
school small hall classic, but on television, not
Yep.
just like small hall classic that you only ever see in York Hall. It's like
Yep.
these are all televised, and they're the quality that the old York Hall fights shows would have
Yep.
been.
And it's
Tell you
paying
what,
off as
though.
well because like next year, well, technically Frank's one. He's one fight away from having all the heavyweight belts, and then
Fact.
having what the two next heavyweight fights being all Queensbury guys because Dubois and Joyce are going to be next up. So
Yep.
he's locked down that division.
Well, actually, I mean, everyone seems to have forgotten about like apparently Hergovich was being called to fight ahead of time, and like that's all just kind of
Yeah.
been swept under the rug, isn't it?
Well, they'll chuck some money for him, won't they? And he can go.
He's out training
No one
with
cares.
the Cuban geezer, Solas.
I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
He
Yeah,
didn't
saw a couple
even
bits of his
beat that Chinese guy, did he?
Nah, mate, he got
Zhang
pieced
got
up
robbed.
by
He got
that
pieced up,
absolute
and then he got
donkey.
the ultimate gift.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
The
what's he gonna do
77-year-old
against Fury?
fucking Sun Tzu.
yeah, it was naughty. It was proper naughty that.
He proper art award him. Bad.
But for sure, Frank, I've personally been quite impressed with Boxer for their first year. Listen,
Yeah.
we had Brooke Khan, good card, right?
God, yeah,
But
that
the
was this
cards
year,
that they've
wasn't it?
been putting on, the cards that they've been putting on have been decent.
They've
Yeah.
been
There
they've
hasn't
been
been
good value. That's the thing. They've been good fights
value.
consistently. There's
Yeah.
no like giga fights, but
No, the one
That's like the breakthrough
card.
cards.
Yeah, the one card that was like a proper own goal was a couple of cards ago where you had Fraser Clark beating up some middleweight who said
Yeah.
that he was a heavyweight. They did no DD on that one. They had an awful start to that card, but then what they did was that they just completely just went, all right, let's flip the script. They had a British title fight on first, which was rude when they didn't even say that was going to be the case. I can't even remember who the main event was, but the main event was
That
dire.
wasn't Bill and Smith Chamberlain, was it?
No, that
It
was a
wasn't the
good
Bournemouth
card.
one. That was
No,
a
no,
good
no.
card.
It was a good card. But yeah, like I think Ben Shalom maybe next year. Could
Maybe.
it
as
could
long
be
as he's consistent and keeps in the same direction and stays in that lane.
yeah.
We'll think
But
next year as well. They're going to have Joseph Parker's going to be there. Akoli's going to be there. They've got a
Parker's
few other
fighting on
people.
the Eubanks card.
Yeah. That card
Yeah,
looks
yeah, he is,
pretty
yeah.
stacked. That's
That's
a
what I'm
pretty
saying.
stacked card.
Is Parker
So
and someone else quite big's fighting on the undercard as well?
Yeah, Ryakapor against Gawaki.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Big.
again. This is what I'm saying. So that they at least are delivering. So look, listen. Fury and Wyatt was a wicked event for the main event, but as a pay-per-view card, not great. Fury Chisora was doo-doo. Where at least with
Yeah.
I
I was
actually
quite
don't
glad
even
I missed
remember
that
who
in
else
the
was
end.
on the fight on the bill.
this is it. They
And that
stacked
says
the
it all.
undercard. So that I
But
mean,
the
they were at
co-main was
least
Dubois and his dodgy knee, wasn't it? Or his
That was
dodgy
it,
ankle.
that was so dirty. That was just naughty. That's the second biggest scandal of this year. The main one was obviously Connor. Connor for sure. That was a big scandal, boy.
No
And
matter
it's
your
still
opinion
going on
Scandal of
now.
the year.
no matter your opinion or where you stand on what you think of him, it or anything, the thing is a scandal. The whole thing is a huge scandal. So
I
it doesn't
completely
matter with
forgot
what you
about
believe and what you think.
Yeah, it was liberties. That was bad, and it's like I'm sure I can't imagine that he knowingly was doing it.
I don't
He
think
doesn't
so.
seem that vibe.
I don't think so. But
No.
you never know. And you just have to wait until the dust has settled 3, 4, 5 years down the line. That's the only time that the truth will come out.
The
it.
Quaff
Like a
King
5-part
S&C
documentary on
geezer.
Netflix.
Oh yeah, it would be on the zone. The comeback
Mm.
in a big
That's
way.
very true.
The other one was obviously like you said, maybe when you was talking about another thing that we shouldn't talk about.
Event of the year, Fury White. I mean, we were all there for it.
Yeah. I mean, like as that's the first time that I've personally been to a stadium fight, and it was proper vibes during that. From the main event on,
yeah.
proper vibes.
I mean, it was a spectacle, wasn't it? It was like as big as it got, wasn't it, for boxing this year?
Yes, the UK has
100%.
become the center point.
Yeah,
Right?
'cause it's not just that has been a big event. It's also, I'm going to say this now, I'm not putting it on the same level as it, but Spice World was also here.
It was.
I think Spice World's a close second, you know?
Gay.
No, I do. Even if you look at how other boxers now talk about it, it could well be one of the most well-received boxing shows of the last few years, at least.
It was
a good event.
Good show. It was a
very good event. I didn't
There was some weird things that
understand-
happened, like a
Oh,
strange
yeah.
curly-haired 15-year-old doing some sing-songs and then getting
in
sat
leather
2 seats next
trousers.
to us up
Yeah,
the road.
what
like,
you singing for? You know what I
I
mean?
know.
Well, I don't know where Sam's gone, but Sam's off.
we offended his mate.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I've got someone knocking on my door.
Yeah. No cap. and whatever. You got to back yourself and co-sign and stuff.
Exactly that.
No, I think Fury Wyatt was probably, but just if you could put the energy of the main event into like the Spice World's consistency, because all the way through that was decent.
The Spice World energy was constantly high.
Yeah, that was good.
Tiringly high and a little bit discombobulating for the state we were in.
It was also very confusing to see that many people in the O2 because like
I didn't know that they sold it out like that anymore.
No.
And it was sold.
Well, except for Misfits.
Yeah.
Yeah, Misfits.
Which legitimately did it, yeah.
Is it legitimate though?
Mate, the way that I've seen those things, the way that people are going off about these fucking drinks that he's released.
Did you know that when I picked up the tickets for Spice World, the person that left us the tickets for Spice World had my name down as Alan Auschwitz?
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. That was phenomenal.
Bad times.
That's amazing, that.
Yeah, imagine going up to the ticket teller and they say, "What's your name?" and you give it the AA, and then they say, "Have you got any ID?" And I'm like, "Obviously, that's not my real name." Obviously, and then they go,
"Obviously."
Have that. Next one, please, Samuel.
What's
your middle name?
Do Louis.
Louis.
Yeah.
Spelt how? L-O.
L-O-U-I.
Okay. That's Louis. So you're Samuel.
Yeah.
Louis.
Oh no, I'm on my birth certificate. I'm just Sam.
Oh, it's not Samuel.
What?
It's not Samuel.
Okay.
Sam. I didn't know that you could do that. I thought it had to be like a real full name. No,
they've done a lot of studies on stuff like that. I'm not going to talk about it because he's sitting here, but they have done a lot of studies on that sort of stuff. They've got chapters dedicated to it in Freakonomics.
It's weird logic because my mum didn't want me to have a name that could be shortened, but then everyone just calls me Samuel anyway. So.
Yeah, that's big.
And everyone always just assumes
but having your name, having a name lengthened is actually size.
Yeah, that is big.
That's big. If your name is literally shorter, that's big.
I mean, to be fair, like your name's Jesse, and Jesse, the only famous Jesse, is a criminal, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mass murdering, stagecoach robbing, and
yeah, these.
And I don't even have no middles going in there, so it's all good.
You got no mids?
Nah, that's how the cousins do it. You either have 16 or you have none.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Both of my kids have got 2 middle names each.
Powerful.
Size.
Should we do fight of the year?
Obviously, we all know what fight of the year is, right?
Yeah. I think we're probably in agreement straight away.
Right? Is there even a contest? Is there even an argument?
Well,
if you say Taylor Serrano to me, I am going to hurt you.
And even I won't put that there. And I'm Giga fan.
What I am going to say is, I know you guys are both on about Wood Conlon, aren't you? Yes.
It's the fight of the year.
Which was an amazing fight, but I want to have that as KO of the year. Because fight of the year.
No. I don't think that is KO of the year now. I've had a lot of time thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. No, we can get to that in a minute. I'm gonna fucking just give it the. What do you kids call it now? But I'll change it up on you.
The switcheroo.
You fucking white peeps.
Uno reverse.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip reverse on you, man. And
my fight of the year is different.
What's your fight of the year? If you say an influencer, I'm gonna fucking do you.
It's not a KSI fight.
So, any influencer isn't allowed.
When I'm thinking of fight, we were going to do an influencer boxer of the year just to please you, but we chose against it. My fight of the year, when I was looking
do have
back
the Jake Paul Award for excellence.
For Jake Paul?
Well, Jake Paul can only win that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But what was your fight of the year, Sam?
That I liked the most this year and that I was so invested in was Joyce Parker.
No. I mean, yeah,
Joyce Parker was a great fight.
It was great, but it wasn't. It didn't have the same like changing story the whole way through. It was
okay. So I bet this
every single minute of the Joyce Parker fight, we was like, it's just until Joyce just crushes him.
Exactly. At no point did I think that Parker was going to win that fight.
No.
I thought
No,
Parker was
but-
capable of, and
But
from
watching
a
it and during it,
it's just like that
No.
was like the crystallization of proof for me, crystals at that the Juggernaut is what you think he is, and he can
He
take
is an
those
X-Man.
shots,
That
and
is
he
literally
is
all we know.
not okay.
But that was the
He is the
the
brother
story
of
of
an
it.
X-Man.
I know Wood Conlon was he got knocked down and then came back in the
Here's-
12th, knocked him out of the ring.
But
which
the fight was high paced and exciting the whole way through
Right,
as well.
here's why. Although that was a fantastic fight, and I enjoyed
Yep.
watching it on YouTube 2 days later, 1 day later, whatever it was. Number one, it wasn't for a full world title. Number two, it wasn't a shock that Joyce won by stoppage.
Nope.
Number three, it wasn't as the build up to that. Do you remember the build up to that? We're gonna
Yeah.
fight. Yeah, your name's Joe. Yeah, your name's Joe. Sick.
No, but the good part of the build up to that was anyone talking about it that wasn't the two people in the ring.
Yeah, for
See,
sure.
it's not that that's not good, and it's not that that wouldn't be
No.
a potential
100%.
fight of the year in other years, but not against Wood Conlon.
Wood Conlon.
That'd be like saying that
Right.
the Canelo Golovkin fight wasn't the fight of the year.
Yeah. I
One,
mean, but like
the first one.
the first one, yeah, fact. Right? Wood Conlon for Wood's world title, yeah? And then on that, you have someone that is considered to be a superior fighter in every way. Conlon was considered to be the
He
better
had the amateur
fighter.
pedigree. He had the money
yeah.
behind him. He had everything.
He's the big star. He's got top rank. He's got all this other stuff. The single only thing that anyone could actually say was that Lee could probably edge him on power. I mean, Conlon's not a big puncher. Like he's obviously a big puncher, but you wouldn't go. You don't go Conlon savage puncher. But Lee has been battering people for a long time. Plus, very differently with Lee, he has had it the hardest way up to get to where he's at now, right? So then, this is all context, Sam, right? So then to see him leveled in the first round of his first defense, of his first headline show, what he has worked his whole life for, to see him flat on his back was a fucking disaster, right? Like all of us that were Lee fans, like I was distraught. And then he got up, and then you had 3 rounds where he was on shaky fucking legs, where at any minute he looked like he was going to go again. Then it cleared. And then, like, that at this point, you're like, oh, okay. But he was still losing. And then you kind of justified to yourself that he's going to lose a decision here. He's going to, be tough. He'll be all right. And then as that fight incrementally went, the momentum changed. And it was going for Lee, and Lee was eating huge body shots, huge shots that were hurting him before. Then it carried on, and then he dropped Conlon. They said it wasn't a knockdown. 100% it was a knockdown. The geezer's legs went from under him after he got punched in the face. That's a knockdown. Then he proceeds to stop the dude in the final round and punched him out of the ring. That's Hollywood shit. Do I rest my
I
case?
agree, Sam.
Fight of the year.
Right to you. And there's Tom's clip that.
Right, so KO of the year. So
See, this is very
This is
subjective,
hard.
right? So I had a big
You know
thing.
what creeps in?
Go on.
That Billam Smith KO creeps in as KO of the year.
I have 3. Well, 4 actually. 4 options. Billam Smith, because he fucking ironed that geezer.
Yeah,
Right?
and that was out of nowhere.
Nowhere. Number 2, Joe Cordina. Joe Cordina
Yes.
took that dude out.
Olga,
with what? Yeah, Olga
the
Shower.
Nippon Warrior. Yeah,
Fact.
Yeah.
Right? Number
that was
3,
savage.
3, Inoue on Donaire.
Yes, Donaire 2 anyway.
Right?
Fuck.
And then the last, exactly, see? And then the last one on my list is Caleb Plant with Andre Durrell, and Andre Durrell's going to be coming on. Surprise.
See,
Um,
the Plant I wouldn't put up with the others.
I don't know. That was a big KO, dude.
That's not so. I'd have it between Inoue,
Yep.
Cadena.
Fact.
Yeah.
Inoue,
and
Cordina.
Billam.
And
Yeah, Billam Smith one. It's probably because it's recent, it's fresh. But
yeah.
and
The
and,
Billam-
and
I
it's not
was
necessarily the
thinking of,
opposition. It's the way the fight was going until then.
Yes.
It's the fact that there was no show that was going to happen. Well, except the kid was tiring a bit. But
the most shocking for sure was Cordina, right?
Yeah.
Because with Inoue and Donaire, you're like, Donaire's 40.
it's
like
Inoue.
it's going to be an inevitability, right?
Yeah.
With the Billam Smith one, fine. Billam Smith, like, he pulled out a victory.
He bangs.
He bangs, and he should have done that to the geezer. The geezer took him by surprise. All good. Then for me, the Plant one, I thought that was a great KO.
It was great. It was.
Yeah,
but not.
I think Cordina gets it. It's his first world title.
I think Cadena gets it.
I think because Cordina, you can't throw anything like that out. You can't be like, it was like you expected it or this or that. He was against a stone-headed samurai.
And on top of that, Cordina had not been a puncher up until the fight before. He's had bad hands. He's had a nightmare of a time, and he's always been saying, I can't hit because of my hands. My hands are effed.
Yeah.
And then he has the surgery, has it fixed, and blows the dude out with a one-shot crushing counter KO. I think that has to be KO of the year.
Yeah.
But, like, what else
Close
is there?
contested, but yeah, it probably takes it.
I'm all about, like, setting. And, like, I'm saying, yes, Eddie paid up and had Ikaruga over. Still got to do it. And you're doing it with the pressure of your home lot in front of you. Cordina. Sam, do you co-sign?
Honestly, shout out to Adam Azim's one against Jesse, where his head bounced off the bottom rope.
That was a
huge
close
KO. To Cinderella Man. What's the one with the
$1 Million Baby?
Woman? $1 Million Baby.
Yeah, those Totti's fighting, eh? Have you got a female fighter award?
Yes. That's next up.
Interesting.
You got women's fighter award.
Is there just one, or is there?
And then a male.
Are you going to split
award.
category? Are you going to have it as anything else, or just overall?
Right. If we're going to do breakout / prospect for the Queens, I'm saying Ellie Scottney. Right.
Would you not
is
say
she still at that level? I thought she would have been maybe above
Caroline
breakout.
Caroline's very good.
She's had quite a few.
I thought Ellie's probably breakout, but not prospect.
Ellie's like Ellie's like 6-7 fights in. She's European champion. I know the pool is not as deep.
She's breakout for sure, and the only reason she can't be prospect, she can't really be both.
I'll give you that. Breakout done.
Yeah,
breakout Ellie Scottney
done. Locked in.
What was that? Female fighter of the year?
Quote.
Yeah, the quote. I've seen a few other.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because like Chantel Cameron become undisputed.
She did.
And what has she got to do to get some love?
I've seen quite a few people for just fighter of the year, male and female, give it to Tasha Jonas.
That's hilarious.
That's
funny. It's truly hilarious. That's literally the funniest thing. That's the funniest thing you've ever said. Like I'm
not saying I agree. I'm just saying
I know, but you've still said it. It's like when you tell someone a joke. Like I probably will never ever stop laughing from what you've just said. Like respect to Tasha.
It will sit there with the Jake Paul first knockout.
Yeah,
it's up there with that.
It's amazing.
It's now on the shelf.
I respect to Tash.
Yeah,
Tash probably could be breakout.
Well, she main
been around for a while. You can't be a breakout. You can't be a breakout around for that long.
Sky show, isn't she? Well, two of them. She main event too.
Like that. Tash has. I tell you what, Tash has had a fantastic year. Picked up a couple of world championships, smashing it. Female fight. I think you have to give it to the Clarissa Shields, don't you?
Yeah.
I think if you look at the size of that fight, I think it has to be because that was arguably the biggest fight in women's boxing, and she came out on top.
What? Yeah. Well, this is what I was about to say. Because if Savannah had won, it wouldn't even be a question. It's like Savannah number one.
Yeah.
She's the go woke.
Go away.
So you kind of have to do the energy the same way, don't you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you
What
want
were
to
you gonna
argue
say?
Katie Taylor?
What's that?
So do you want to argue Katie Taylor?
No, just that it's still not. It's still. I just still hate the go woke phrase. But
Yeah, it's a bad phrase. Telling you, we did it for her. We did it. TBC.
TBC,
We've done it.
TBC, we solved that problem, but it's now
Fam,
been
why
copyrighted, and
haven't
we
you
want
fucking
royalties.
invented it so we can start pumping it out for the queens?
Invented what?
Well, I've given you the ideas. You need to create what I have in my head on paper because I don't have time.
Yeah, but some of the shit you send me, you'll send me 9 messages, which is an instruction for something, and none of it makes
bro.
sense.
Bro, I'm mentally
Make
ill.
it make sense.
Like
You sent me a
diagnosed
night
mentally
tattoo the
ill.
other day and said this would look large.
It would, as
But
the
for
side
what?
quest, as the side quest logo. Right?
Was it the Paladins of Truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 nights, right? You got to do them scaled. This is happening live. You know what I mean? You got to do them scaled to mix with mine and Jesse's height. And we're touching the chalice, the sacred chalice, with a SQ on it. That's massive. Why have you not done it yet? You're frozen. You look
I've been
strange.
off.
There we are.
Oh.
You froze then, but you was frozen like this. It was weird. Yeah, go woke. Yeah, whatever.
Should we do the last one? Male fighter of the year?
Oh, Biv's in it.
No.
I think it's got to be.
Who you
In a
got?
way.
You think in a way? It's hard. It's a hard argument.
He's got the argument against Bivs. Because Bivs has beat Canelo coming up to him. In a way,
Okay,
still always been going up in weight, and he's just unified and undisputed of weight.
Right, I'm with you, and I understand. But the rebuttal to this is, when are you watching an Inoue fight where maybe he loses a round or whatever, where you question whether the judges say that he lost the round as well? Because that Canelo fight for Bivol, had he not won the last round, they would have given that geezer a draw like they did to Triple G.
True.
Yeah.
But then
Right,
that's nothing
so-
to do with a fighter. That's just shitty politics.
No. But that's a testament to how dominant he was. That even when they tried, they couldn't give that geezer. They couldn't rob him.
Yeah,
That's-
and
that's-
that's not taking anything. Giving it to Inoue isn't taking anything away from that achievement from Bivol.
I believe that
It's
Inoue
just
is
what
pound
that
for
last
pound.
fight, like
I'm
Inoue is pound
agreed
for pound
now.
now. He is
Yeah, I
number
agree.
one.
I agree,
And,
especially
and
with the
Crawford
naughty gloves.
could take it, but
Fact. He ain't
he can't because he needs to fight Spence, and we just know that's never going to happen.
ever.
Whoever's
Ever,
fault
ever,
it is, it just won't ever. Like even
What
in
are
your imagination, it will
The
be
chances
stopped.
of being able to get Inoue to come over to the UK or to the US to have like a fight where
He'll probably be over here soon. I think
He's fought. He's
they
fought
want
in
to
the
fight.
US.
He's
Where
fought in
it's
the States a
actually,
couple
like,
of times.
because
The
it's-
Americans didn't receive him well.
the
No.
the
He fought
difference
Maloney
is with
there.
it is
Yeah.
Inoue's not the most accessible to watch, is he? Like it's not the easiest to watch it Inoue fight. I think it might be
If you've
Fight
got
TV
if you've got a
capable.
Tuesday afternoon free, you can watch him live.
I mean, I'm not angry at that. It's quite.
No, I loved it,
It's decent.
and their
Yeah.
shows are good.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Inoue, I don't know who's he gonna fight over here. Like in the States, he can do Fulton, can't he?
Anyone,
Just anyone.
just send
Yeah.
them to here. The big.
Yeah.
This is the mecca of boxing now. They've got to send them all here.
That is true.
It's been
So
a massive year, I think, isn't it, for UK boxing, especially on like domestic level. It's been such a big year.
domestic and also proving that how deep the boxing runs in this country. It's not just
Yeah.
a superficial one-off big event like it is in
Yeah.
the States. And the Americans now accept that. And that's the
Yeah.
big thing. All the American fighters accept that.
So what is happening now is like much like your beloved soccer kick racing, which was invented here and is the home of soccer kicking.
Mm-hmm.
We're
It didn't
not-
come
we're-
home, but
It
It is
hasn't
the
been
home.
home for a very long time, right? With boxing, which is also the same. It was the Marquis of Queensbury.
Marquis
It's
of
all
Queensbury.
it's all from here, yeah. But now we're in a bit of an uptick at the minute, where we've got the most world champions I think that we've ever had. The heavyweight division is largely British, which is
Yeah.
Which is the first time in
my
ever.
lifetime. My lifetime.
Yeah.
I'm 40. You're
Since
33.
probably
It's never been the case.
what 1800s maybe.
Yep. Even in the Klitschko era, which was the gaseous era in heavyweight boxing, there was always the hope, and they would always build up some American fighter, some British fighter to try and take him out, and it never worked, including David Haye, right?
Yeah.
It just didn't happen. This era now for British boxing is the single best ever.
Yes.
And AJ is the captain.
Full agreement.
Don't care what anyone says. AJ is 100%
Without him, it
the
wouldn't.
captain.
Without him and everything that Eddie Hearn built around him,
Yep.
heavyweight boxing would not have been able to stay on these shores, and you wouldn't have been able to get attention on all the prospects there are. Fury wouldn't have been interested in making a return.
AJ was such a big reason why the Olympic squad and that had so much investment and that into it. And then if you look at all the guys that have come from the GB route, you know,
do you know
it's made the
who was
GB
actually
route more prolific?
Yeah. Do you know who is actually the real reason for the long-standing uptick in British boxing? Is, of all people, Audley Harrison. It's him that was the one that campaigned for this. It's him that pushed for this, and it was him that got the funding. Shout out Audley. I'd love to have him on the podcast. I think he's completely mental.
I think he's a G. I think he's absolute nuts, but I'd love it.
Yeah, I reckon we could get him on SideQuest.
Yeah, probably a million things for that.
Yeah. I reckon
should we do a little preview into 2023? Should we talk about?
Go on.
Yeah.
What's like your most anticipated fight for next year? So obviously we've got Fury Usyk.
Fury Usyk would be a snoozer, wouldn't it?
That's not anticipated because it's just kind of like an if and when. Let's like the dream fight, the one that we can't even have in our dreams because someone will come and interrupt it and make you forget it, is the Spence Crawford. That's the one that we all want. Never happen.
I don't think Spence Crawford happens for this very simple reason. He either has to vacate his belt before April, which is when he's looking to fight because he's just had another car crash and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Boots is his mandatory, and I think that Boots punches the fuck out of him. I have never been a Spence fan at all, and I think Boots buzzsaws him. I think he stops Spence. But
then on the flip side of it is Bud just spuds Boots. That's the problem. But
and that's how we get.
There's nobody Bud doesn't do a Bud job on. And
agreed.
He'll get the undisputed, but then because of who it was and because of the accolades that Boots doesn't quite have yet, he doesn't become pound for pound number one. In a way, still holds that throne. That's the downside to it all.
I think for this next coming year, I think that we see towards the end of it, probably AJ Wilder starts popping up and probably does happen.
I fancy that's this year. I fancy that's this year. Yeah.
Next year,
here,
2023.
Well.
Potentially here. I would say highly likely to be here. They'll just pay up for it. I mean, Canelo's gone quite quiet. He can do whatever he wants. That's the beauty of Canelo. Literally can do whatever he wants whenever he wants.
The fight I really want.
That'd be a Bivol, I don't think happens. Yeah, I don't think
that's the one I really want, and I don't think it happens.
I've said this from the get-go.
Yeah.
What's Biterbi, 37 or 38?
38. I just think we're coming into
26 or something like that, isn't he? 28 or something like that.
This is it. So we're coming into there's like all of these undisputed champions that are popping up, real undisputed champions.
Yeah.
And then all that happens is it maintains for a little while, then it all splits up, and then the cycle starts all over again.
We'll have 2 to 3 years of maybe even just 2 years of it being golden again. Yeah. And then someone will just come along with a 16th belt and just be like, oh, by the way, this one's really shiny.
Hey. Bivol Better Biev would be amazing.
Won't happen though.
I don't think it happens. I don't think we get undisputed heavyweight. I'm much more on the air of that doesn't happen than it does.
Yeah. I can side with that.
Yeah. I can think it's much more likely that it gets all pissed up in negotiations. It falls apart. Usyk maybe has another couple of fights and then just gets rid of the belts, retires.
We'll see in a way become undisputed at the weight above before that happens.
Yeah.
And that's not even like a hot take. That's probably likely.
Yeah. But it's been a very good year, and the year before was a good year, and now this coming year looks like it's going to be lining up quite nice. I'm actually looking quite forward to what we're going to try and offer a little bit. We're going to try and do a little bit more because now I've got a desk job. I've got a lot more time to think about things.
Better things to come.
Better things to come. What do you want for next year, Samuel? Pubes?
They'd be nice.
Beard?
Oh, a beard.
The
He's got a
bit
little
in
bit
the
of beard.
middle would be nice. That's missing.
Yeah, you kind of look like Guy Fieri. He's got that.
I think next year for me, Joyce Fury or
Maybe.
Fisher
That's
to capture a
likely.
title.
Fisher doesn't fight for a
some
title
kind.
for a
But I
for
don't
of some
think that
time, like any
happens for
like
another-
English title.
Like
Yeah.
area. They don't even have area heavyweight.
Don't know. They must do. Why
I've
wouldn't you
never
have
seen
a
one.
heavyweight? They just go and grab one of them rings off a Shire horse and say, "Oh boy."
Yeah. There you go, lad.
Yeah,
Put
they just
some
cut it
horseshoes
in
on
two
your
and say, "Look, have that at the cruiser."
neck.
I'm quite looking forward to Yard Beterbiev.
Yeah, that I mean,
I hope the bill is a very, very stacked bill for that.
yeah, I still don't know how we're going to be doing that one live because that means that we have to obtain BT Sport. I have it on devices, so maybe we can cast it.
Do you
to a
not get it
device.
through Now TV?
No,
Not BT
They-
Sport.
no, it's annoying, but it's
You
fine.
can only
We'll
get
sort
it
that
through.
out.
You can get it through like a web browser,
Yeah, potentially.
and like we just won't have certain languages.
It's
fine.
fine. We can't have the languages anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And they just
But
chat
yeah.
shit anyway.
So there's a few guests early doors coming in, and then on the 14th we are streaming for the Misfits card
We're streaming not for the Misfits card.
with Idris, but it is
We're
the
streaming
Misfits
for
card,
Idris.
and due to his burgeoning fame, Ewan is mic'd, but he is not on the buttons because he's surprising. To be fair, the level that geezer consumed, he does a remarkable job.
He
He
does
really
a good
does.
job on the buttons considering he drank a whole brewery.
Fucking geezer.
I don't get how some of the cutouts go across the screen and that, but he manages it.
Well, what's really fun when that's going on, because Jesse doesn't see it because the screen's blocking, but I can see directly to him, where you just see him like he's got the mouse, and you just see him like that, and you kind of look at him, and he looks at you, and he just goes,
Ewan was awarded
Productions-
though. He's
The
been
production's
awarded.
second to none on
Yeah,
Fighting
it's-
Words.
"Producer of the year, 100%."
Producer of the year.
100%.
Young
Definitely.
Jamie can literally fuck off. He can't. have
Jamie
anything
couldn't
to
have
do-
half the alcohol that
No.
Ewan had and still operate on a percentage of that.
Nah, what a man! What a man! He's been truly honoured. Sam looks like he's terrified, but he's frozen again. Anyway.
I'm here.
Beterbiev Yard, I truly believe that although Yard will probably look okay within the first 3 rounds,
Yard does look good. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But Beterbiev doesn't need you to not look good. He just needs you to be in there with him. And that's that.
So he can
you know what
punch
he'll
it.
do? He will.
So
will-
he can just do what Rockmen do from Dagestan, or where is it he's from? Is he
Chechnya.
Chechnyan or
Chechnyan,
That's
yeah.
it.
He will do the first couple of rounds. This is like a little like preview. He will do the first couple of rounds, hands open, and just letting it hit. Just letting
Doing
you
that
know.
like the
And you know what, Yard, you're going to see that a couple of those shots, like Yard saw those. And then, like round
lions
3,
in the camp.
yeah, like round 3, you get the difference of that. And then it's just like, oh, right, okay. Round
And them
6,
little
we're-
pendulum steps around the side and oof, oof, oof.
Yeah, I can see him getting bored.
Knockout of the year next year.
Potentially. But yeah, we're going to
But the
start
thing
with
is
the Misfits
with
card.
Beterbiev knockouts,
Go on.
knockouts are never like devastating.
Bludgeoning.
They're just
No,
like
they're bludgeoning.
the opponent just looks like they're so happy that the world has stopped finally.
They're sub. Every single one of them is subconcussive, and I think out
Yeah.
of choice
Yeah,
and just constant.
yeah.
But yeah, we've got Misfits on the 14th. Then we're going to do the Eubank Smith
Beefy
card
fight, yeah.
on the 21st,
The
And
stacked
then
to oblivion.
and then the 21st is Beterbiev and Yard. And for anyone that enjoys the streams, patreon.com, help your boys, Fighting Words. But Ewan has blocked out his January, so he will be present in some way throughout the entire shows. Interesting.
which is what everyone wants to see.
You're into G, mate. Listen, I will never stop laughing about his love of Kirsty Gallagher. Right. And if only you saw the albino
passion.
drunk mental chimp that was sitting in the chair, that when he said that, I felt sexually harassed. I felt
Yeah.
violated.
He took his
Anyway.
headphones off.
Oh God.
He got
Legend.
prepped for everything about that.
Furiously pleasured himself to it. Right. On that
And
note,
on that note,
blessings.
last pod of the
Wonderful year. Last pod of the year. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Peace.